What is up, everybody? Wanted to hop on here and talk about a TV show today. This is I'm gonna talk about Dexter today. This is the I finished. I literally just finished the last episode of season one. So this is going to be. I'm just gonna be talking about season one. And I intend on watching the whole series, so I'll probably do follow up videos talking about each season. But yeah, all the memes, the most recent show that everyone has been giving it really high praise, which is surprising considering from an outsider's perspective, I probably would have never started this show probably a couple of years ago. Hearing how season eight and the later seasons of the show isn't very good, and the finale is not very good, and then there being a follow up show that's also not the best, and maybe the ending is also not the best. But all the memes, I've been curious. It's been getting really popular online. This new series has made me really intrigued in wanting to check out Dexter. And so I sat down. I watched season one. It's been a few weeks since I've been slowly getting through it. I actually just kind of did a whole binge for like the second half of the season. Pretty much, I watched like the last like five episodes in the last like 2 days or so. But yeah, to start off, I want to talk about Michael C. Hall as the titular character of Dexter. Uh, Really good performance from him. I've seen a little bit of 6 Feet Under, and it's very interesting seeing him in that compared to this, and how felt very different. And this feels like a very different character from that character, and I really like that. And honestly, just he really makes the show. If you know, what a surprise! The show called Dexter. Dexter, guy who plays Dexter, is really good in it, and I love his just the way he acts. I think they write Dexter as a character really well. The narration is really great. This inner monologue that Dexter goes through, I absolutely love that. I feel like we don't get a lot enough of that in like television and like film in general. I feel like that's like a lot of reserved stuff for like books. And I really like that about this show, how it's willing to deal with like an inner monologue thing in this. Yeah, I'm just kind of I'm just rambling. This is just ramble video. Um, Going into this, I'm kind of shocked. Uh, like some of its, I guess, critical status, but also I critical status in the sense that for a while I've heard the show is kind of like up there with like like a Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad. But I really think this show is kind of the perfect point of TV. I feel like I could make a whole video talking about how TV with streaming nowadays is not really TV, and it's more of just taking the ideas of like high budget filmmaking and trying to translate that into TV. And I feel like that started with a lot of the prestige television, which a lot of it's really great. I mean, I think Breaking Bad, um, season one of Game of Thrones, they're both really good, and I think they're able to do a great blend of that. But I feel like a lot of shows today kind of forget that it should be a TV show. Not everything needs to be this high budget, high action spectacle thing. It can be mostly about the writing, and I think that's the thing about TV that I love is I think typically TV has excellent writing, and it kind of has to because this is a 12 episode season. You have to be engaged for the whole season, or you're not going to stick with it. And I feel like starting it, I was reminded of how different TV has gotten over the years and how different things are, and how this is kind of the pinnacle of what makes good TV. Excellent writing. It's got that police procedural element, which I think I really like. Kind of how every episode is kind of talk is about some sort of either a case or the specific ice truck killer case, or Dexter having his own case of trying to kill someone or do something. And I really like that aspect. The rest of the cast is also really good. I feel like I gotta like shout out of course Dukes. He's excellent. Every episode he's in is he's just top fucking tier. I fucking love him. Um, he's so good. I'm very shocked that the meme line of "surprise motherfucker" is in this first season. Watching the finale, that was great. Um, LaGuardia is really good. I think she's a really excellent character, and I feel like I'm excited to see where everyone just kind of goes throughout this series. Um, Deborah is an excellent character as well. Uh, and I want to shout out. I want to kind of talk more specifically about various things in this season because I feel like there's a lot going on in this show, and I really appreciate that I think it does a really great job balancing it all. I've kind of taken this like roller coaster thing where, as I was talking about before, with this TV shifting and how this felt not very much like a prestige television show. This felt very much in line with I'm not trying to be derogatory, but like an NBC show. And I don't know if that's just because it's like a police procedural sort of thing, but it felt like that. But I also think it's much better than that. I think the acting here is really well done. I kind of loved what they were doing with the overall plot for this season. I'm excited to see more because there's a lot of stuff coming up that I'm excited to see. Um, so I guess kind of more spoilerly talk. I want to talk first about I guess the ice truck killer and where that went. I kind of completely never expected where this thing was going to go. I could have never guessed it would have went to a secret lost brother plotline. That was very shocking watching the final episode and being like, what the hell? I kind of loved. I wish I knew what episode. Um, I think it's episode 8 or 9 when it's revealed. I think it's episode 8. I might be completely wrong on that. When it's revealed who the S truck killer is, and you're kind of given. And I really like when shows and films do this, where they tell basically the audience, "Yep, this is who the fucking guy is," and now you have to kind of watch what happens. And I kind of love that about this show with this second half where you know who the fucking ice truck killer is and watching everything kind of come together, him trying to find out. And I really loved this investigation that Dexter went on in the second half of the show, trying to piece together his past. And I was very shocked that I didn't expect that to where it was going to go. And I kind of loved that we're kind of given the Dexter origin story, which I think and I'm talking strictly as someone who's only seen the first season, so I'm curious what else there is to focus on because I really thought it was really great. Something I want to talk about also is the Dexter and Rita plot. I feel like is really good. I loved watching a lot of aspects of that. I loved watching Dexter as a character who like feels no emotions, feels no like connection with people, and like this weird thing of like, does he like, you can never really tell if he's like truly fully all there or if he's just kind of faking it, which I think that's down to Michael C. Hall's excellent performance of you never really know what Dexter is feeling like. At least I didn't during this first season. I wanted to talk about episode 6 of the season. This is I thought this was a really great episode. This episode had Dexter like investigating his own crime scene, and this episode had like a lot of just fun antics with Dexter trying to stop everything from going wrong because he was being basically investigated, and I really liked that. Um, What else to talk about? I have some other things. I thought uh, the Dukes and Dexter's relationship just kind of falling a fucking apart by the end of the season. It's really cool, really exciting, and interesting to see where they go next. I want to shout out the dark humor that this show has. I feel like I was very regularly laughing with this show because of how absurd things were, and also just like they have this show has a really great sense of humor with a lot of its like topics. Like I take a lot of this very seriously, but then there's a lot of times where I'm like, this is like hilarious, and I kind of like realize how well the writing is being done because you can just tell that that's the whole point. Like things that Dexter says, like I was watching the finale and Dexter something about like who knew when talking about Deborah to Rita, who knew how could you ever know that like she was dating a serial killer, and that coming out of Dexter's mouth is super just really funny and just really like darkly just hilarious, and I really like that aspect. I love how the show is willing to poke a little fun and also be a little bit more less being a little less serious when it comes to its topics, which I'm fine with because it is willing to go darker. I think the episode with Dexter entering the hotel room and kind of starting the journey, figuring out about what happened to his who he was really great, and I thought it was a really great episode. And watching Dexter, someone who we've never really seen fearful or like show any emotion, him having this kind of visceral reaction to everything around him was really exciting. And I just wanted to, yeah, this show is really cool. I really enjoyed watching this season. I think it's really fun, interesting, and it was really engaging. I feel like it like took a little bit to get into, but once I got into everything going on, I kind of loved the second half of the season. I think it really goes from like good to like really great, and I kind of really am excited. I'm just excited to see where it goes, and I know it's gonna be crazy, but yeah, Dexter season one, really good. I feel like I want to recommend this to people. I feel like as bad as the show might get, because I don't know, uh, this first season is a really good season of television. I feel like a lot of shows, I sometimes look at shows and say, okay, I might stay at this season one, and that's kind of my end point. Game of Thrones, I did that. I watched Game of Thrones after its conclusion, and hearing how bad the ending is, I decided to just watch the first season, and I thought that was really good. But yeah, it's a really good season of television. It's really fun, engaging. Check it out if you want. Yeah, Dexter season one, baby.